Hello, welcome again to our leadership class where we basically lead ourselves into betterment. Leading yourself into betterment. And I'm excited to share tips of leadership that has helped me as an individual to lead myself into betterment. I'm excited because I know that I could be better. There's a better me. There's a stronger me. There's a richer me. There's a higher me. There's a nobler me. There's a greater me that have not unfolded. And so what I do on a daily basis or remarkably is to dive deeply to uncover, to unlock, to research, to ensure that the better me emerges so that I can live, number one, authentically, live, number two, from a very powerful place. Powerful don't mean the physical power, but knowing that I am powerful to make a choice and take my decision that will take me into my destiny. Because I know how powerful my choices are. So to live authentically, powerfully, to live compassionately, where I engage life more meaningfully in terms of non-judgmental, especially judging me from my past or what I have not accomplished, but be able to believe in myself so that I create a self-belief that will lead me to uncover, that will lead me forward and to live meaningfully, to be able to find meaning in my life so that the more I find meaning in my life, I'm able to give meaning to other people's life. Also appreciate that people have meaning and also have purpose. The meanings is to live from the place of purpose. How do I live myself in purpose? Purpose will be all inclusive. It includes me. And again, because most time when we talk about purpose, we always exclude ourselves from the purpose. Purpose for me, a simple definition is service. How can I serve myself? The more I serve myself, the more I'm able to serve my family, the more I'm able to serve my community, the more I'm able to serve people around me, to be able to serve the world in general. So you see, it means that when you have a higher you, ultimately there's a more you that has not unfolded. There's a more you that have not come into manifestation. There's a more you that have not come into possible to be able to uncover those paths. And I want to encourage you, if you are not where you ought to be, don't bemoan it, don't be sad, don't be discouraged. It will call it a life of journey life. And in this journey life, you're not alone. And one of the things I advise, no matter how it is, make sure you're not journeying alone. I know we're in almost a generation where we think that we are all encompassing. Please, you are not all encompassing. The richness of our interconnectedness cannot be undervalued nor underestimated. It cannot be discounted. It really cannot be. It's not something you deal with. I'm sure one of the ways that you know in this journey is to look at the people behind you, people above you, people within your rank. You can draw inspiration, draw motivation from them. They can teach you, they can educate you, so this journey, we're not alone. More reason we are here, fundamentally to be able to help each other as we lead ourselves into betterment. Honestly and honestly, if you are in any situation here that you do not, that is not your kind of place, it is part of the journey. Don't discount it. Don't disvalue it. Let it not create pain. Okay? But let it be so encouraging. Embrace it up. You're going to find yourself leading yourself into betterment. And one of the things I want to talk about, which is critical to me, is know how we lead ourselves from a very vital place where we are fragmented. I'm going to be talking about holistic leading, how you can lead yourself entirely from a holistic place and not from a place of fragmentation. And I'm going to help you few things that we're going to do and going to look at that can bring you into that place of a whole. Because I found out that, and at any point in time, please, I welcome everybody. I know that several people have joined. I may not be able to know everybody because the codings are quite different. I know Abigail is there. Thank you for coming. I know Oledo is here. Thank you for coming. I can see NNO where you're here. I think that's Nena. Thank you for coming. And every other person on the call, thank you for joining us. I want to see that your support is quite appreciated. Share the link. Call your friends. People who are in a certain stage, we need to know that they are the one who will lead themselves into betterment. Is the responsibility is theirs and not anybody. If you blame, you discount it. If you are worried, you discount it. You're coming from a place of fragmentation. If you're afraid of the future, you're coming from a place of fragmentation. You're not coming from a place of wholeness, And it's something that we don't pay attention to it, because you see, we seems to be weak when we complain or bemoan, right? We seems to be helpless, but you're not helpless. We seems to be powerless. We seem to be afraid. And those are three things or four things, or hopelessness sometimes can come in. I like hopeless situation, really. I like when I'm in trouble. When I'm in trouble, thank you. Another person joined us, non-limbed camera. I don't know what. Thank you for joining us. This is a platform where we literally lead ourselves from where we are to where we want to go. We call it forward leading. Forward leading is where we have to lead ourselves before we lead others. It means that we have to enjoy the journey before we can boldly and confidently, unashamedly tell people, hey, this is the journey. So the journey is, first of all, lead yourself to where you want to go. It's a responsibility to find that authentic place. It's a responsibility to live from a very powerful place, from a very compassionate place, compassionate, non-judgmental place. It's a place where you lead yourself from a meaningful place, from a very purposeful place, and loving place. Loving place when you love yourself beyond the situation, when you love yourself beyond your current place, where you love yourself beyond the rejection, where you love yourself beyond whether you're married or not married. No. You love yourself whether you have a job or not have a job. You love yourself whether you are in some level of class of people or not. And when we get to that point, that's where you know that you are approaching your life not from a very fragmented place. Because one of the things that help us stay in a stagnated place is fragmented self. Where, for instance, you don't like your hair, right? And it becomes a concern to you. I'm just using that example. Or like me, my head was big before, and people will say, oh, has a big head. So I started paying attention to it. So when I'm in the midst of people, I'm careful, because they will say, oh, so that's a fragmented place. Until I embrace the big head as part of me, it becomes a holistic place. It's that kind of thing. Or, people will tell you, maybe you are amidst of your friends and they are all married, or they have a job, or they're driving a car, and you're looking yourself from that fragmented place. It doesn't give you ownership to your life. It doesn't give you that strength, that vigor, that vitality, the vehemency to which you thrive. So now you're already in a disadvantaged place. You're already in a discounted place. You're already in a lower place. and in lower place it's difficult to pull yourself. So it's where you are in a place where it seems that there's no help. You don't even know where the next meal is going to come, or will you move to your career? Maybe you've been in a place for too long and you're wondering, will I move? Other people are moving. No. You have the momentum. We're going to empower ourselves with a few things to help us move. And when we get into that natural place, you will see that you begin to naturally unfold, naturally increased, naturally, opened up. Because in naturalness, in that place of nature, there is a force, life force, that is governed through other system that will regimentally you will just see yourself like plant unfolding, that catalyst place. And it's where we want to bring people to. Nature. Don't leave from a disadvantaged place. No, you are complete, you are whole. You need to wake up and know you lack nothing. One of the things that helped me move forward, lead me to forward, is because I lacked nothing. No matter how people rejected me, no matter how life presents, odd moments, no matter how frustrating life was, no matter how low I was, no matter how bad a place was. I mean, I've been in detention, where a place where I was detained, really, and that means I was incapacitated, I was stunted, I was walled. But honestly, it was just a geographical location. My mind was forward. Let me tell you, my mind was forward. I couldn't allow that limitation. And that forward mind that I have at that point, saying that location is part of it. So I'm not disadvantaged because I'm in detention. My mind was functional. Was I pained? Yes, I pained because I know my potential seems to be inhibited. But every place you are, you have the capacity, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, to take that position of strength. Once you entertain weakness, you are fragmented. Once you entertain helplessness, you are fragmented. Once you entertain fear, you are fragmented. And that's where we want to take away those ideas, those theories that had consistently fragmented us, make us little, make us small. Is what we want to rip off from our mental construct, from our nature, and begin to embrace true nature that is unhindered, that cannot be filtered by anything. And that's the only way we can, through the life force ourselves like aeroplane taking up through the cloud. The cloud cannot be a limitation because the force of life is holistic. I want you to write that the force of life is holistic, and you are part of the force of life. You cannot be disadvantaged and lead yourself into betterment. You cannot assume lack and move yourself into betterment. You can't be in a devalued or a discounted place and move on. That's a fragmented place. That story was so powerful for me. Like I was in detention, and I just told myself, what is possible here? How can I find myself? This cannot. I'm bigger than my world. I'm bigger than where I found myself. What are the opportunities here? It was in that moment I realized the number of people, even the inmates here, who drinks water. And I started asking what question. And I found out there was a woman who used to supply them. And I told them that this place, you cannot come in here again. You need to be giving me 10 bags of water. And I took that 10 bags of water and I was selling, and I was proudly selling 10 bags on a daily basis. And good enough, there was free, so I could get it. So all the policemen and all the authorities there were around. They were buying from me. You know, I made so much money, and I was eating, and I was able to save money. That's why I know that irrespective of where you are, you can lead yourself to betterment. Please just tell yourself this moment, it is my responsibility, write it down, to lead myself into betterment. It is my responsibility on a daily basis. I mean, I've gone through life that would have broken me. I've been in a place where I was constantly criticized. I was constantly put down. I was constantly be undermined. I was constantly be devalued. In fact, it was the person will come in and people will come and say, we hate you. The people will come in and say, I'm not joking. And I always ask myself, how can I lead myself? How can I lead myself? And I realized that my health cannot come from outside. My health is within me. There's a bigger me that should show up, that should define the situation. What happened is that we allow situation to be bigger than us. And that's what incapacitates us. And we look down on ourselves. That's from a fragmented place. You're walking, it seems like things are not together. You go night by night unhappy. Unhappiness is a fragmented place. When you're unhappy about a situation, you are not holistically looking within you to unlock your higher self. Because it takes the unlocking of your higher self not to be fragmented. Because what situation or obstacles or problems seems to do is to dishonor us, make us disbelieve ourselves, and in that place of dishonor, we take a position of parts, not whole. And once there's part and not whole, we can't have the force of life that have the vitality and the vehemency to push through the obstacles. So where I want to really hammer is that you need to come back to find your natural self. Your natural self is whole. You need to wake up every morning and tell yourself you're whole. The car cannot define you. Trekking cannot define you. In fact, homelessness. I've been in a situation in my location. I mean, I'm talking globally now. In my location, there was a time I didn't have a house. All that I had was a car. Inside that car, at the trunk of my car, was where my things were. My shoes were there, laundered. You know, I used to send it to another place, and I will put it over there. Now, if I don't tell people that I was coming, I don't have a home, the way I look, my disposition, which is part of what we want to do now. We're going to talk about predisposition. We're going to talk about position and what to do, how you condition your mind to live in that. So, how I appear will not indicate where I'm coming from, because I'm coming from a place of wholeness, not from a place of fragmented. I mean, it would have really torn me down, because when you get back to the office, people are talking about a house or they own this and over there. But honestly, it didn't change the fact that we are in the same space. Whether they were coming from the houses or I'm coming from my car, but we were in a space. We are working together. So it is me now that will begin to fragment myself and say, oh, allocate, I don't have a house, I don't have a kitchen, I don't have that, I don't have that. And once I start fragmenting over there, I live in fragmentation, not in whole. So I can be able to push with life total force. I'm not in my naturalness of wholeness. I am in a place of disadvantage. Guys, it is just a mental assent. It's in our mind. I mean, I like to I like to go to church, and in church everybody appeared his best, and honestly, people are coming from Bacha, people are coming from 1-bedroom flat, people are coming from duplexes, people are coming from, but when you get to that center, nobody will tell you where they are coming from. It's only in their mind, and it is in the comparison and expectation and the demand, societal demand, that now we put in our head to fragment ourselves and say, oh, because I do not have XYZ, or because I didn't go to school, or because, oh, I do not own a car, or because I'm not married, or because, oh, over there. You see how those stories, that narrative in our mind begin to fragment us and devalue us as we now take a position of the thing that we do not have. No. That's why we want to deal about this. You can't lead yourself from a place of fragmentation. You can't leave your place from a place of disadvantage. You cannot leave your place from a place of weakness. It won't work. It won't work. So I come to reinstate to you this evening. Wake up and know that you are whole. And stop telling yourself that story that you are not whole. Even though you are in the worst place in your relationship, that relationship cannot this is why we take, sometimes we so devalue ourselves, and so in that fragmented place that we begin to assign some superiority to certain entity or entities that we presume that are better than us. Come on. Now, I told them yesterday in the men meeting, when we say that customer is a king, and I said that, kings buy from kings. The fact that a customer is king does not mean that you have to devalue yourself for a king to now pity you to buy. No. Kings go to kings to buy. For kings to come to you, that means that you are kingly. So why do you have to say customer is a king? So you behave like you're warm. You can't be in a warm state to attract king to your place. You have to be in that kingly state, kingly mansion in your attitude, in your perception, in your attitude, to be able to push beyond the limitation of where you are. If the king can come down, it's as simple as, I used to use something very insignificant to portray this. You know how a prayer person, a lady that is so dirty, maybe like we call her like a prophetess, and in that prophetess, right, you seem that prophetess is whole, is complete, because the prophetess will give you an idea, see vision for you, pray for you, and all that, and meaning that. So imagine you in your elevated car. You think that person has something superior, so you travel miles, go down, leave your mansion, go down to that person that you think is holistic, and you will see that person as perfect. Just paint this picture. Paint it. That's what we do. Most often, do you know that we have to go down to find completeness? In our elevated step, we have to ship ourselves over there. We are thinking it's down. And that's where I want to hammer. Now, it is not that person that will ask you to come. Even though they ask you to come, it will tell you, come down. Come where I am. You will leave. They will not force you. You will put yourself together. You will go to that place. It means it's your responsibility to lead yourself into betterment, because you're seeking for a solution. And the solution is in you. Preposition is such a very strong position to take in life. So the more I look at the picture in my mind, the more I live from that holistic place. You need to consistently put in your picture, in your mental world, a stand, a position, and it is that creative force that you align consistently. Please, from today, I give instance as well too. I mean, I've done this severally in my life. I had proposed in my heart, like preposition. What means that I have taken a stand in my mind of, let's say, not to be dishonored. And I said myself, I'm in a place of honor. I carry that honor religiously, ritually, routinely, habitually. When I mean habitually, conscious habit, to say that I'm coming from the place of honor. When I meet opposition, I don't succumb to that opposition. I live from the preposition, the stand I have taken in my mind. And that's where I focus. And that's where I draw from my strength. So I can't classify this person dishonoring me as this person is dishonoring me. I won't take it, because that will be sending you to a fragmented place. And in this unholistic place, you will you discount who you are. It's called a preposition. It's more like, bottom like where an architect have designed a building and put a plan, and that plan is what will guide the construction engineers to build according to the pattern that has been predetermined. Pretty much as when the scripture said, those he foreknew, he predestined, and those he predestined, he called, and those he called, he justified. Now that's where the justification comes in, and that's where we missed it. Justification means, for instance, so because I'm in a place of honor, it's been predetermined. My work does not guarantee that everybody will know that I'm in a place of honor. They are going to bring dishonor. They are going to come in with a level of discredit. Life will also throw spanners and things to discredit me, to fragment me, and shift me from the place of that honor to the place of dishonor, so that I start operating. Oh my God, this is so powerful. This is so powerful. And it will make us unbalanced. Let me tell you, this thing that we're talking about, fun, or have arrived, or have achieved, we cannot achieve any lasting situation until there's a predetermination, a preposition. Those he foreknew, he predestined. And those he predestined, he called. And those he called, he justified. The justification will know, I prepare a table before you in the presence of enemy. What it means that there are going to be oppositions to justify the fact that you have been called and justified. We have been predetermined. Do you know why we like to seek for prophecies? We like dream. We like all those kind of things to give us the future and all that. You know that if your mother gave you some level of prophecy and you believe in your mother's prophecy, you know that whatever life throws at you, no matter how bad you are, at the corner, you just continue to remember, because that is a preposition. And that's how leaders lead. And that's why you see, if you see in the military formation, when they move out, they are moving out from a predetermined council, from a predetermined order. That is the force of life that drives them furiously into conquering their enemy. It's not within them they have all that. They are looking about where they are coming from the base, the military, the equipment there. Because they know the setup, they know what they have, the armory. That if they miss, if they lose their gun, if they lose this thing, there's a backup. That's what preposition does to us. So you need to consciously, on a daily basis, do a reminder. Remind yourself constantly of your preposition. I remind myself, I will never go down. And he said, why is he talking like that? How did I get over there? One day, I read a scripture. I love to read the good Bible. It gives me a whole lot of, that's where I draw my strength from. That's where I draw my position. So, and I was inspired to read a particular scripture. And it said, he blessed them. That's in the past. And multiplied them. And increased them greatly. And their cattle did not decrease. Woo! From that moment, the concept, have you seen it? So when I talk, I'm not talking from a place that, of brokenness, or from I have packed money, or because I have a job. No, I am coming from a divine preposition that have constructed and put an image within my mental world and in my reservoir. That's how we live life. We didn't know this. And from that moment, I will always stay focused that, you know what? I won't go down. There's no down for me. You see the position. That's what they call preposition. Stay there. Justification means that there are going to be contrary winds. Justification is going to be lax. Justification means that there are going to be opposition. There are blockages. There will be walls. There are limitations. They are not meant to sadden you. Once you are sad, you are fragmented. Let me say it again. Once you are sad, you are in a place of fragmented, a place of disadvantage. Once you are afraid, you are fragmented. Once you feel disrespected, you are fragmented. Once you feel unloved, you are fragmented. Once you feel you are alone, nobody likes you, you're fragmented. Once you feel nobody respects you, you're fragmented. I bring some of this concept to understand that. And I mean, sometimes, what I say can be very difficult. But please, just take it easy and plan one by one. Once you can, once you are irritated, you are out of balance. And that's what life does to us. And I like the way the Master Jesus will always do. Have you noticed he was always at ground and calm? What is written? It is written. That's what preposition means. What has been documented in your memory bank? What is it that has been written in your memory bank? And he said, oh, I saw opposition. The enemy, some come to him and said, oh, do this one, offer you. Life will offer you alternatives to distort you, to divert. In fact, delays are instrument of justification. Delays are instruments of justification. Rejection are instruments of justification. Lack are instruments of justification. I like to get comment. I like to get your questions as we're rounding up. We need to popularize this place. We need to really reinvent ourselves, because if we reinvent ourselves, we'll know that we cannot lead ourselves from a place of fragmented, from a place of devaluation, from the place of sorry, from the place of incompetencies, from the place of unsure when you are not sure, from the place of insecurity. Those are things that are fragmented, and honestly, we are going to root out those things and reintegrate back to our holistic approach to life. We can't win this war of life from a fragmented place, from a place of disillusionment. We are going to lead ourselves from a place of whole. You are whole. You are whole, guys. Please tell yourself you're whole. Nothing can mess up. I mean, when I look at scriptures, when they say that the enemy comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy, the destroy is to make you feel like a fickle, like a worm, like a victim. When you are in victimhood, in terms of anger, in terms of resentment, in terms of unforgiveness, in terms of hopelessness, and all those things, they fragment you. And once you are in a place of fragmented, you don't have a complete force and momentum to drive you into your betterment. I'm saying there's a preposition. If you don't know it, you are preloaded. I'm not motivating. I don't motivate. I inspire you to think, because once you think, it changes your perspective. Once the perspective of who you are changes, your entire life will change. You become a strong magnet to become authentic, to become, powerful. And that's where we want to drive. That's the life force. That's the kind of thing I live on. I'm in a place of almost a fragmented place, but I refuse to take that fragmentation. Label is a strong place to take you out from your fragmentation. Maybe I will stay here until next week. I'll take positioning. What it means to position. You don't position without a preposition. That's why I say, first of all, preposition and now position. So people want to take a position without a strong consulting their preposition. You've got to know your preposition. It doesn't have to be too much. For me, the moment I got that word, He blessed them and multiplied them. You see, multiplication is leading yourself into betterment. It's forward movement, it's expansion, it's explosion, it's bigger, it's richer, it's higher. I don't just speak. I follow other people, and I read, I research, and I will see people who lead themselves from a place of completeness will always find completeness outside. If you lead yourself from a place of brokenness, it's like from a place of mercy, from a place of a sloppy place, like a slippery place, you won't find balance. And once you don't find balance, imbalance will create like you're dragging. It's like you're trying. But preposition is the force of life. That's the beingness of life. That's the nature that nurtures. I don't know if anybody at this moment have a question. We need to come out from this idea of fragmentation. For whatever reason, don't slope. Please don't slope into fragmentation. Don't allow yourself to be fragmented. You are not whole. Unholistic approach to life will create disadvantage, will create fear, will create helplessness. And it means you're not leading from your authentic place. I like to get a comment to be sure that we're in sync. Are you worried about your life? Are you coping? Are you freaking out? Are you always in anxiety? That panic attack. Are you afraid of what will happen? Oh, I may not marry. Or I won't be able to get a good job. Or will I ever build a house? Will I ever travel in my life? Will I ever see a partner? Will I ever accomplish anything? Self-doubt starts coming. The moment there's self-doubt, there's a fragmentation. The moment there's a doubt, there's fear. The moment there's sorry. The moment there's, when you take yourself, I need to clear my head. I need to clear my head. What clearing your head means? That you're already sloping into fragmentation. Yeah, it's different thing about rest. Where you say, I'm really confused about life. I don't know where to go. And once you're confused, you're in a fragmented place. Because your mental clarity, your hyper clarity will give you forward movement. But once you are neither here nor here, you'll find out that there's nothing tangible, solid that can come out of that instability. Is your life unstable? Do you feel so odd in life? I want to help you that's a fragmented place. You cannot push forcefully through the force of life, through a disadvantaged place. We need to rewire. We need to reposition. We need to retell our stories and narrative consistently. The more you start retelling the story, rewiring, the more you just take. For me, what happens to me just would have one word. I've been basking with another word that I found recently. It said that the pathway to life, for instance, is joy. The pathway to life is joy. The pathway to life is joy. What it means that I have now done a preposition. And so therefore, when I meet obstacles, because the moment you get a preposition, like it is written in your constitution, in your mind constitution, in your picture, in your mental construct, what happened now? Like he said, those he foreknew, he predestined, and those he predestined, he called, and those he called, he judged. Justification means there's going to be opposition to be able to justify it. Justification is like you have been tested, you have been prone, whether you are living out of the it is written, or whether another thing has been written to you to follow. Nobody can give you a new script to you can't handle it, because it's not in your naturalness. It's not in your naturalness. But when you stand in your it is written, that's your preposition. It will begin to influence and channel you from a place of holistic place. So when you meet obstacles or things that does not align to that holistic view, don't take the picture externally. Take the picture internally. It is as above, so is without. As within, so without. As above, so with down. So you see, it is the upper that leads to down. Because when you meet obstacle, it seems like it's down. If you go down, then you are fragmented into down, and you keep going down. That's what happened. We abdicate our throne and come into a lesser throne and take the nature of the lesser stone, and that will condition and write and superimpose our former it is written to another written. So we'll begin to recycle it, and the more you recycle it, we'll begin to invent ourselves and live from that place of the destruct. You need to tell yourself every morning, I am complete. I'm not a minus. It's working for me. It's working for me in all 7 pillars, 8 pillars of life. Whether it's in myself, in my self-belief, whether it's myself, knowing who I am, writing it, documenting that I'm a builder, And I went somewhere today, and I just see the number of people within my facility, and I see the joy around them, what they're doing. I'm happy because it's just showing. I got into that place. I'm happy about the people that are finding fulfillment in that. So I have provided a facility that finds judgment. So I'm looking up. It is here. So if I get into that space and somebody challenge me, are you going to challenge me? You are in my facility and you are challenging me. Come on. You are complete in your naturalness. You are not the image, distorted image. Hold on to that preposition. I refuse to leave this preposition today. Hold on to that preposition. That's how great men walk. They walk from the preposition. It's already predetermined. Before you leave your house, have a preposition. As elementary as I can go out and say I'm in a place of honor. I can't be dishonored. And the day you say that I can't be dishonored, you're going to see actions. You're going to see people who will want to distort you. It could be like you're going out, and the first thing is the taxi driver you get will look down on you. He's not looking down. He is in another place. He wants to shift you from your position to where you're going to be in his own position, so you can take a lower place. And that's what life wants to do to us. It can't happen. You are whole. You are complete. You are not fragmented. Wake up every day. I'm not fragmented. My situation cannot fragment me. Husband cannot fragment me. Wife cannot fragment me. Children cannot fragment me. My boss cannot fragment me. The country cannot. And when you start taking such resolute mind, your propensity, your greed, your audacity to life begin to change. And if you're not careful, people will think that you're proud. It's not pride. It's just a sense of connecting to your naturalness that has the boldness to nurture you, integrate, to lead you through the life of force, to move you. It will cultivate you. It will supply all the nutrients. It will supply all the energy. It will supply all that you require to push you to life. And that's how I moved in, leading myself forward. I want you to know that it's a responsibility through a preposition which is written, documented, and handed over to you by nature. The same thing. That's why you look at the plant. They come preloaded. They come with a code, a preposition, and they know when to bring forth. They know exactly when to bring forth. Time cannot shift you. Oh, I have waited this long. No. I just want to encourage somebody. I'm going to encourage you to say, please, before you leave, the more you practice this, the more you connect with the force of life, the more you begin to see that boldness, that audacity, that force of life that will bring you into manifestation. And the more you connect deeply to it, the more even life itself will begin to respect you. You get to a point where temptation begins to fall down to you, because you know that they have tested you. And that's what they call justification. At that moment, you are solid in your ground. Your speech aligning. Your thought patterns aligning. Your perceptions aligning. And that becomes a working truth, which is where we are going to next moment. We are going to now unpack it and unfold it so that you have all the tools to continue. But today, let's end it up by saying there's a preposition. A position that has already been taken. But obstacles will test it, will justify it. So please, I'm ending today. You are not fragmented. Don't allow delay to fragment you. Don't allow disappointment to fragment you. Don't allow rejection to fragment you. Don't allow competition to fragment you. Don't allow family pressure to fragment you, to make you feel that you are in a disadvantaged place because you're not married now, because you don't have a child now, because you don't have a job now, because nobody is calling you and friends are not calling you for a party. No, you feel you're dishonored because now you lost your job, you're defragmented. No. Those are things that will come to justify you and to remind you of your preposition. They are called reminders. So anytime anything opposite comes, call them reminders. Thank you so much. I like to have your comments. I like to know what you learned today to lead yourself into betterment. My vision is to lead myself and lead people into betterment, into beauty, and into order. Until I come your way next time, keep redefining standard. Keep challenging status quo. Don't be in a place of fragmentation. Challenge it and come to a higher life of goodness. Thank you so much and have a great week. See you next time.